Hi, I'm Bill with Booming Bookkeeping Business, and I'm here with another one of my successful students. This is Yvonne. Yvonne, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Bill. I'm so happy to be here.
So let's start at the beginning. What did life look like for you before you started your bookkeeping business?
So I was laid off during the pandemic, and I was in a career that I could have gone back to. I was in the legal career. I was a paralegal and an office manager for many years in my career, but I had time off to reflect after getting laid off and got to think about what was important to me. And I wasn't feeling the stress anymore because I had time off and I liked the way that felt. And I love being a peaceful person. So started thinking about, what's my next step going to be? And so the idea of being my own boss for the first time ever was very appealing to me and something I'd never done in my life. And I hadn't even dreamed about until coming across your program. I'd always worked for somebody else.
Why do you think that being your own boss kind of crept into the picture after not considering it?
I've worked since I was 16 years old, and you get caught up in that rat race. It's true, and you got to work, you got to pay the bills. And I never really had a substantial amount of time off to sit and think and reflect like that, like I did. I just never did. Lived my life, worked, married, kids, all of it.
So
Anyways.
why bookkeeping?
Well, I was exposed to it when I was an office manager for the law firm. So I had experience with it. And it was actually my very best friend had planted the seed for me to start a bookkeeping business because she's like, hey, you did bookkeeping when you worked for the law firm. What do you think about starting your own bookkeeping business? And you think about the people who are like in your life and, how they we're there to help each other along the way, right? And
Yeah.
so she planted that seed, but I sat with it for several months before I moved on it. So then I began, to do my research about starting a bookkeeping business and came across your program. And after, doing that research, yours really was the best one.
Whenever you start something new, especially starting a business, there's always, some fears, concerns. What were some of the fears or concerns you had about getting your business started?
Definitely had. I mean, I have to say, it hasn't been like, I started it and then, we came here overnight. So definitely were some fears about, can I do this? There were a couple of times where I did go back to work. I was like, let me see. Do I really want to do this? And I went back to work for somebody else. After 2 months, I would quit. I went, I don't want to do this. So I think it's, the fear of, can I do this? Can I make the income? Can I replace the income that I'm currently making? That's definitely a fear, right? Got to make ends meet.
What does revenue look like for you?
So my revenue now is at just under 5,500 a month on recurring billables. With this one, I'm putting the proposal out for today will bring me to just at 6,000 a month. Plus, I have some cleanups that I'm working on, which last month or for February brought my revenues like up to over like about 7,000, I believe, that I built in February because of some cleanups I'm doing.
So, I mean, when you started your business, did you have a concern on whether or not you'd be able to get clients? Because that's a lot of people watching this are starting brand new and they're like, number one, can I learn it? Number two, can I get clients? What would you say to people like that?
You can do it. Honestly, following your program is what got me here. And I mean that. Like I followed the steps and I looked at the marketing and really following through on those things and reaching out for help, even just like developing like the value statement and, things like that. But just, following through on the different steps that you advise, and right. The LinkedIn, Google, I did the Google My Business first. Putting some content out there, but I honestly, like for me, like having a Google business profile has been what's bringing me most of my business in this area. People are looking for a local bookkeeper.
As if I were somebody who was thinking of starting a bookkeeping business and look, I'm bright. I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to follow the steps without mentioning my program. What would you like in a sentence or two? What would you say to me to help like calm my fears that, hey, you can learn this and you can get clients if you do the work?
Believe in yourself. If you want it, just believe in yourself. You can do it, and there's help out there. Like, you're not alone. You're really not alone. And that is something like with your program that I have found.
Are you so special that this was just like, in other words, that you're special and nobody else could do it?
Definitely not. I wanted it. So I think it's having the desire and knowing what it feels like, and having, like I said, the freedom and the flexibility and making my own schedule, like having the time off during the pandemic when I was like, I didn't have to report into anybody. So I just knew for me, being my own boss was something that was going to help me to sustain this in the long run.
So how would you say life is different now?
Life is great. If I wake up in the middle of the night and can't go back to sleep, I'm not panicked because I have to get up at 6 a.m. and go to work. That's like the best part, right? Not that I sleep in every day. I got a business to run, but if I need to, I can sleep a little bit longer, and just having freedom to make my own schedule. I schedule lunches with girlfriends. I don't have to just go for an hour and be like, okay, I got to get back to work. It's really like something like I have never experienced in my life. And I don't think I could go back to working for somebody else now. How
do you feel about what you've done? How do you feel about yourself?
I'm amazed. I'm proud of myself. I'm thankful. I'm really grateful. It's still somewhat mind blown, Bill. I did it. Like, I'm here, and I am moving towards having a 6-figure business, and I'm trying to do that by the end of this year. It's one of the goals that I set, and I think I'm on track.
So let's say you could talk to me and I was somebody who was considering starting a bookkeeping business. What would you say to me?
Go for it. Go for it. You can do it.
And if I was committed to doing the work and without, necessarily referencing my program, could you speak a little bit about my chances of success?
If you want it, if you look into how to do it, how to achieve it, setting goals on how you're going to get there, following through, reaching out for help when you need help, you can do it.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I'm really proud of your success, and I appreciate you taking some time to talk to me today and share your story and help inspire other people, because that's exactly what you've done.
Well, I hope so. You can do it. Go for it.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Okay, bye.